In the heart of nature, river flows with effortless grace. This seamless flow is not merely a display of beauty, it's a powerful symbol of health, vitality, and flowing energy. But what happens when this flow encounters a barrier? A dam halts the natural flow, which leads to stagnation and decay. Within each of us flows an energetic river, a vital force that sustains our health, happiness, and well being. Just like rivers, our energetic pathway can encounter dams, not of concrete, but of stress, illness, and emotional turmoil. These energetic blocks can lead to physical inflammation, stagnation, and a buildup of toxins that prevent our body and spirit from thriving. Just as a river can be freed from its dams, we can release the energetic blocks within us. Almost magically, we allowed energy to flow freely again. Let me help you discover how to remove these barriers, restore your energetic flow, and revitalize your auric fields. One of the things that happens is, and it happens in our physical form as well. So I'm going to compare the two together. When you get an injury, so if I sprain an ankle or sprain a wrist or break an arm, or get hit and I get a good bruise here, that impedes inflammation happens and that impedes flow. It blocks flow. So we can, we use a lot of things like arnica. Different people have used arnica. I have a cold laser I've used doing therapy on horses when I was a horse trainer. And what it did is it increased flow in that area and took down the swelling and cleared out because when you jam up an area with swelling, well, swelling's there because it plays a role in our physical body for the protection. It acts as a brace. For a time, it's designed to protect that area. But if it stays there too long, and then what happens is toxicity piles up because we're impeding circulation. And so where things are running quickly, toxins are moving right along. But if we slow flow down, like in a river, what happens? The sediment falls out of the river or the water, and you get, it builds up the bottom of the creek or whatever a river in that area. And that happens within, or can happen within our body too. You would start impeding flow and you're going to drop toxins there. So we can come in and we want to increase, support blood flow and help an area clear out so that when there's toxins, then we're asking for other issues to start, especially if it happens within our joints. We can start expecting an arthritis or a type of arthritis to form there because of the toxicity. So not medical advice, but an observation of mine and just it's information. It's an information share. So the importance of keeping flow within our physical body is important. It's also as equally as important in our energetic body. And the energetic body is housed within our physical body. So if I have an area within my physical body that has been physically injured, it can impede energy flow there as well. Or if I have, and in the energy body, what impedes flow is some sort of emotional baggage, I'll call it, because we're holding on to it. Some sort of trauma or experience that I haven't quite processed through yet. We can store that in our energy body, but basically we're storing that in our physical body as well, aren't we? So that starts impeding and it creates blocks within that energy body, which can create blocks in our physical body. So it has the same rule. It starts to develop toxicity and waste gets dropped there at that area. So when we want to talk about flowing and being and connecting our physical body with our energy body, we need to understand that this is something we all do. We've all stored emotion and or different forms of trauma, even if it's not our trauma. Sometimes you can be in a work environment that's pretty heavy or intense. That is all there baggage, but we can store it because we're exposed to it over a long period of time. And so we're holding it in our body. All of that interrupts flow. And in the chakra system, it's designed to flow freely from top to bottom, bottom to top. And it's designed to flow freely out and back in. But if we have and if we're holding on to this, that starts getting interrupted, blocked, impeded. And what the result of that and the feeling of that, one, it can affect our physical health. because of everything I just described. It can affect our physical health, but it also affects how we connect to our intuitive self, how we connect to our heart space. And lots of people are talking about the value for healing and moving forward, feeling and being in that true joy space, which is in the now. You got to know what makes you happy. Well, to know what makes you happy, you got to connect down into here, into you. But so many of us struggle to do that because we have these blocks in our energy body and they're stuck in our physical body. And we go to connect and we're like confused, which just kind of cycles in a pattern then of frustration, sometimes even anxiety. It can move us into a space of anxiety and or depression because we're not connecting to who we are, and we feel that, and that gets us out of balance, and out of balance creates an emotion, and then that emotion cycles through our whole physical body, and now it's in our gut that talks to our brain. We're out of balance, and so we're creating a pattern, and an energy pattern, but also a thought pattern of I'm out of balance, this isn't right, I'm confused, and this creates a anxiety, a worry, a fear, which fear goes back and stores in our body and keeps us from grounding. So now we have an energetic buzz because this is all cycling through us, and fear stops us from grounding because we're afraid, we're protecting ourselves. So all that energy cycles back up and around and through us. But we can stop this pattern. We can stop this. One, by understanding what's going on. Two, by starting to change those energy blocks, changing them into a different energy. That fear, that shame, that guilt, that worry, because worry probably comes back down to some sort of fear or guilt or shame. Loss that we've experienced, we store that in our body, and that's just something to be aware of. We can shift that. Einstein talks about an idea called transmuting. He says, we don't create new energy. We just change energy. We can shift energy. And through the know-how, with the know-how, we can shift energy. So I want to talk to you in this video series about shifting energy. I want to talk to you about how to do that, because the power of that is we get to feel into, and I'll show you how, feel into where's this stuck in my body, and let's shift that. So instead of blocking me, it's supporting me, and I'm opening up the flow. And the benefit of opening the flow is I can connect to who I am. I can connect and know who I am. I can also ground properly. So all this energy that's flowing through me and creating a feeling of chaos and overwhelm and the buzz factor can ground, so that I can support balance in my body, energy balance, physical balance in my body. I'm also opening up the connection to my physical body so that my body and my energy are supporting each other. So the gifts that are there, I can start connecting to my gifts, and the gifts that are there in my energy body are going to connect to my physical body. And now I'm empowered. I'm putting energy fuel into my physical body, and both those gifts are working together. I mean, the effects of that are just huge and empowering, and all the things that we really work at through the self-help books that we read, getting our mindset right, and physically, getting in shape, eating right. These things all come together when we get our energy right, when we get this part connected and the flow cleared. So stay with us through this series of understanding my energy and clearing my energy so that I can move forward as the most empowered me possible. See you in the next video.